welcome to your program Press Insight. We're bringing you the latest headlines that took place today in the newspapers and also on social media. And actually the papers published today all dealt with a very important and historic issue, that is the visit of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli to Tanzania on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And from the Egyptian Gazette we read, Egyptian firm's Tanzania Dam project marks milestone in Africa cooperation. And Prime Minister heads to Tanzania for Joyous Nairel hydropower plant and dam opening. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli left Cairo on Friday for Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, heading to a high-level delegation to attend on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi the opening ceremony of the Joyous Nairel hydropower plant and dam. Madbouli said his participation in the opening ceremony on behalf of President Sisi and in the presence of the Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan reflected Egypt's commitment to deepening Prime Minister heads to Tanzania for Julius Nyerere hydropower plant dam opening. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli left Cairo on Friday for Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, heading a high-level delegation to attend on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi the opening ceremony of the Julius Nyerere hydropower plant and dam. Madbouli said his participation in the opening ceremony on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and in the presence of Tanzanian President Samia Hassan reflected Egypt's commitment to deepening the African cooperation and forging successful strategic partnerships with countries across the continent. He added that such partnerships seek to promote sustainable development through the joint implementation of the project of development across various sectors, contributing to greater progress and prosperity for the people of Africa. And to shed more light on this topic, we are delighted to have with us over the phone Dr. Mohamad Moukhtar Darwish. He is a political analyst. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us today on Nile TV International.
Yeah, good morning. Have a good day.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor, how do you view the mega project that reflects Egypt's commitment to deepening the African cooperation and forging sustainable, successful strategic ties with the African continent?
It's very important to all type of projects to be have it starting from Egypt to Africa and others. And Egypt is working and do such much effort regarding to that, to increasing the economy, to increasing the investment in Africa, and to be have several type of projects and all type of projects to be covering all the needs of that very important places in Africa. Around the world, around to be have initially communication, initially supporting to the needs of the African Union.
Yeah. Dr. Darwish, still with this news where we read from Egypt today, Prime Minister Madbouli, Julius Nyerere Dam refutes claims of Egyptian opposition to Nile Basin development. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli affirmed that the massive Julius Nyerere Dam project refutes claims that Egypt opposes development across the Nile Basin countries. In statements to Extra News Channel, Madbouli emphasized that Egypt remains consistently committed to supporting the development in the region, provided it does not harm the vital interests of Egypt or Sudan. He stressed that the issue of Nile water rights remains a matter of essential importance for Egypt. Madbouli highlighted the dam in Tanzania as a successful model of bilateral cooperation. He attributed the project's success to continuous oversight by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and a shared commitment from the leadership of both nations to overcome implementation challenges. Dr. Darwish, we need to learn more about the role of Egypt played by the process of development in the African continent in the past decade.
Of course, Egypt is viewed as the judgment person regarding to the needs, regarding to the needs of any countries of Africa, and supporting the several type of projects regarding to all the increasing and investments and all, as a better win-win situations from any cooperation, any supporting for Africa, not the type of gaining from one part of the things. And is always achievement, the need from Niles and needs and projects. But it's become against some type of project like what Ethiopian has to be done and reference to the requirements of national security for Africa, especially supporting also Sudan in several types and all the ways to the gaining of Sudanian people and Sudan itself to get back to be have it and become also against regarding anything could be there is ever reflecting for all type of projects that could be against the Sudan or other countries in the area, and always pushing to be the decision taking is becoming internally from African people from the country, not be dedicated or pushing to have any actions or any things not related to the countries or any African countries, and taking care of very well and very special the files regarding to Sudan and our president, of course, President Fattah el-Sisi, and the effort was done from also Dr. Badr al-Baati of the needs of Sudanian people and Sudanian files for all of type on all type of community around the world.
Dr. Darwish, we move to the Middle East Observer, where we read some financial news. Egypt approves the Alamein oil storage and trading free zone. Egypt has approved a nearly 738,000 square meters private zone in New Alamein for crude oil and petroleum product storage and trading, advancing a 2025 partnership with the Emirati of Fujairah. The government authorized the Fujairah Alamein Oil and Gas Company, an Egyptian joint stock company, to establish the zone on 737,914 square meters south of Al Alamein Matruh Coastal Road in Matruh Governorate under Cabinet Decision number 65 of 2026, published in the Official Gazette. The site borders the expansion area of El Hamra petroleum port, linking the project to existing crude storage and transport infrastructure on Egypt's Mediterranean coast. The approval advances 3 agreements signed between Egypt and Fujairah in October 2025 and covering the establishing of a joint company and Mediterranean logistics zone for crude and petroleum products, crude storage at Al Hamra, and petroleum product supplies to Egypt. Dr. Darwish, Egypt is expanding its cooperation with leading global energy firms in the fields of oil and natural gas. So how would that help Egypt become a regional and global energy hub?
It's very one of the very glad to be complaining of this type of effort regarding to energy source and regarding to this type of energy logistics supporting and coordinations between Egypt and Alamein and Fujairah, of course. This is show how much is Egypt is doing a very global energy point in the area regarding also, and as everybody knows, in geographics and also to the place of Egypt. And this showed the very high communication and community between Egypt and, of course, Emirates government regarding Fujairah and other. It shows how much is the deep and the specific of Egypt to being having strategic files related to the effort of petroleum sector. Of course, our minister, Dr. Karim Badawi, engineer Karim Badawi, to show this effort. And on land, the solution is always for any increasing economy. It's to be having more investments, more oil projects, very communicated point from the Middle East to opening several channels has been reflecting to this type of files.
Yeah. Dr. Darwish, we move now to the Gulf news where we read United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and 6 other countries condemn Israel's EI settlement plan. Ministers back sanctions against those responsible for illegal settlement activity. The foreign ministers of United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey and Egypt condemned the Israel's continued illegal settlements policies in the occupied Palestinian territory and categorically reject the E1 settlement plan and related settlement activities east of the occupied Jerusalem Al-Quds. They further reiterate their condemnation of the violations and acts of violence perpetrated by illegal Israeli settlers with the support of the Israeli occupying authorities against the Palestinian people and their property. They stress that such acts is no way diminish the rights of the Palestinian people and constitute violations of the international law and relevant United Nations resolutions while posing a series of threats and regional and international peace and security. Dr. Darwish, in recent days we have seen illegal Israeli settlers putting the homes of some Palestinian families in the West Bank under siege. So what are the main reasons behind that move and how do you read this?
I read this is very caring about the achievement part of Israel, as everybody of the bad scenario them had done in the Palestinian people. And of course, the cooperation between Egypt and Qatar and Turkey and Pakistanis and all the whole world being communicated regarding to that, to achieving and recording every part of the things on that part of the story. And as usual, and as everybody knows, that not like this is our effort of Egypt. Of course, there is several cooperation and supporting several things had to be logistics to Palestinian people, and let the whole world is not becoming a part of the story in the Middle East or the region. It's become internationally a story regarding to the feeding and the troubling what Palestinian people had suffering from that country. And of course, against all international law, all the UN law, what then being done from Israel. This is very focused on what's happening day by day. This has been the achievement and the record history and recognizing to the whole world what is the action from Israel, that them no mean of pieces or the humidity itself, and it become the whole world file and become the whole world troubling and suffering from these countries around the whole world.
And moving now to the Anadolu Agency from Turkey, we need some regional news. Gaza death toll exceeds 73,400 as Israel kills 10 more Palestinians in the past 24 hours. Health Ministry says 25 more wounded over past 24 hours. Another 10 Palestinians were killed and 25 others wounded in the Gaza Strip, raising the death toll from Israel's genocide in the blockaded enclave since October 2023 to 73,417. In its daily statistical report, the Health Ministry said Gaza hospitals received 10 bodies and 25 injured civilians in the past 24 hours. The ministry did not specify the circumstances surrounding the casualties, as the Israeli army continued to violate the October 2025 ceasefire through shelling and gunfire across different parts of the territory. The ministry added that a number of victims remain trapped under the rubble and on the roads, and the ambulance and civil defense crews still unable to reach them. Sir, what is the expected scenarios for the Gaza peace plan if Netanyahu and his allies won the October elections?
This has been, as you've been mentioning, one of type of scenario that if there is still insist of Netanyahu action, that will be also another, as you were mentioned, this part of our movement for today is to show that the whole world, starting from Turkey and other, is taking care about them done in Israel, and show how is the deep of action on land from part of Israel that never mean the peace, as them was mentioned to the whole world that they have type of peace, a time of also security for Israel, and this is of course against what's happening and against all of part of international law over the whole world, and this is not respecting, and the scenario is type of joking the world and moving or get the whole world in another part of the story, but on the real, this is not the action. It's a matter of gaining a part of land on a part of Israel, but this is not the real story. The real story is gaining land, gaining more things to Israel, to become increasing the countries and increasing effort regarding to that, and this is not the real story.
Yeah, of course. Well, Dr. Mohamad Moukhtar Darwish, the political analyst, thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us today in the Press Insight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our news today. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned. After the short break, we have Good Morning Egypt and my colleagues Shireen Adel and Sarah Slim. This was Adil Mutwalli. Thank you.